on some key economic issues ahead in the new Trump administration. I'm with House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Congressman, you said you are going to be all about jobs. Tax reform is a priority. Repealing and replacing Obamacare is a priority, and border security is a priority. How do these things lead to jobs? Walk us through what your priorities are for 17, and when do you think you could actually get these things done?
Well, I think all these are going to have to start right away. That's why I set the calendar for Congress. We made sure within those first 100 days we're working in session more.
That's excellent.
And we add weeks that we're working in there. We look at not just 100 days, but the first year. And we want to be working closely with this administration, this Senate as well. So we've been meeting on a weekly basis. There's certain things we can do right away and certain things we have to start and make sure we get it right. One, when it comes to border security, you've got to make sure your country is safe. So President-elect Donald Trump has run on making sure this border is secure. You'll see an early bill with that. Regulations that we can deal with early on, looking at rolling them back in others. We'll start moving those. Article 1, when I talked about the REINS Act and the midnight, and this midnight rules, sue and settle. Then you look at Obamacare. It has failed and everybody knows it. So what are we looking at a different place? We have to repeal it first, and then we're going to replace it with new legislation where you get greater choice, more doctor-patient relationship, a healthcare system that actually works, that the premiums go down, greader choice. Not an easy thing to do.
All those insurance companies, I mean, United, Universal, they said they were going to lose $1 billion on it. They pulled out. Do you think that you're going to be able to work in terms of the insurance companies offering healthcare?
Oh yeah, you want to have individuals have greater choice, more options out there to pick from. And I've already sent a letter to every governor and every insurance commissioner. Give us your ideas as well. So it's not just the House or Senate involved in this. We want everybody's input in this because we want to get this right.
Explain sanctuary cities to me, because I don't understand why or how it's possible that for all of these years we've been blowing off the law. I mean, what are you going to do with mayors like Rahm Emanuel who say, look, if you're illegal, you're safe in Chicago?
No. America is strong because of the rule of law. And if you break the rule of law, you break down society. 2 years ago, we passed a bill. If you want to ignore and only pick and choose which law you want to enforce, then you should not be recipients of federal money. I think the sanctuary city issue is going to go away. These mayors are going to realize they can't pick and choose what federal law they want to enforce or not. So we need to protect the citizens there. Why would they want these individuals to come there illegally, not knowing who they are, and protect them? Their first role should protect America.
So how far are you willing to go in terms of voting, in terms of holding back federal funding for these cities?
Well, we have shown 2 years ago that if you want to pick and choose the law, it's not just in sanctuary cities. We have to be a country that has a rule of law, a fairness. You can't pick and choose which ones they are. So you've got to uphold the laws that are passed. You've got a balance within to go through it. If you don't want that, then you shouldn't want the federal money to come with it.
Wow. There will be a lot of debates in the new year. I can see that. Let's talk tax reform. Let me go back to that for a moment. We had Stephen Mnuchin on the show recently, incoming Treasury Secretary. Here's what he said about priorities in 17.
Our number one priority is going to be tax reform. We think that by lowering the corporate tax rate, we're going to make U.S. corporations incredibly competitive and create enormous amounts of money that comes back onshore and creates jobs.
Trump's plan is a 15% corporate tax rate. The GOP House plan was 20%. Where do you see this going?
Well, we'll sit together and we'll work. The only way I see it going is that it's going to get lowered. If we want to create more jobs in America, we've got to create a structure that makes us competitive. Right now, we're not. Right now, our corporate tax rate is so high, it gives you an incentive to be in another country. We also, if we're in a world economy, you create money in another country, we punish you if you want to bring that back to invest in America. We're going to change all that. Keep America competitive where we can compete around the country. Create a tax system that's fair. Create a tax system that's simple. We have a tax plan that fits on a postcard so every family can fill it out themselves.
But should we be pushing and warning companies that if you go overseas and then try to get your products back in, you're getting a 35% tariff?
No, I think the way we solve competitiveness, we create a structure that makes you want to be in America. And I think lowering the tax rate, dealing with repatriation so the money can come back to America and invest in America for American jobs solves the problem that we're trying to go after.
You're not expecting to be warning the way President-elect Trump has done.
I think what President-elect Trump is doing, he's warning others that America is not competitive today and that we're going to change all that. We're going to work very closely together to make sure we get a tax code that's fair and that works.
And real quick, Congressman, are you going to be pushing back? Are you going to spend $1 trillion on infrastructure? As a conservative?
$1 trillion is very expensive. You know, I came into Congress watching President Obama do the stimulus, and at the end of the day, more people believed Elvis was still alive and the stimulus created a job. But what you can do, currently today, the regulations to build a road, you wait a decade for that. You can see the reforms there. And what I like about President-elect Trump doing, he brings that business idea in. What about a private partnership? What about taking investments from the outside, changing the structure so we can build it faster, and looking at infrastructure in a different manner to make sure we build America stronger where we can be competitive?
That's what I was going to say. As a conservative, you can't